Okay. Hey, buddy. Alright. Okay. Get down. Okay, sorry about that. So I'm gonna do a celebrity reading of, if I can, if my dog will let me. Oh my god. Okay, calm down. I love you too. Okay. Yes. Yes, we're a team. Okay. Alright, okay. Somebody asked if I could do a reading for Justin Bieber and Selena Gomez, and it's interesting that like I have trouble saying her name. So, okay, she may have like some resistance to being like observed or whatever. Okay, so I'm just gonna focus on that. I feel like, as far as Justin Bieber is concerned, he's kind of like compartmentalized their relationship into this like box of like I'll do this later kind of thing. And it feels kind of like if I were to talk about like how it looks like in terms of color or something, like it like seems on not like super dark energy, but like a little bit, and enough that it's like not fun to look at, let's say. And he's really enjoying, even though there's like a fish out of water element to like being in a committed relationship, like he's really seeing the best in his marriage right now. Like he let me just like wait. Like it's not easy, it's not perfect, but he has like a lot of optimism, and that's what like brought him from Stratford, Ontario to LA, and you know, around the world and whatever. Like he has you know, like if you think of natural as being like standard issue like person kind of thing, and then like supernatural being like abilities above that, so like higher than average ability to persevere, go towards his goals, see his goal, like be inspired, like you know, he has like this kind of, you know, extra abilities, let's say, like than the average person would have to do his career and stuff like that. And like relationships are kind of like they're there, but they're not like his main focus. Uh, so he's just enjoying, even though it's not perfect, whatever, enjoying this ability that he's created. You know, like for better, for worse, whatever. Um, I'm not saying like it's such a great relationship, like you know, I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying like he is determined in a positive way. Because the feeling is like positive around his general direction, and I feel like he's sort of leaving the Selena Gomez stuff like to the side and compartmentalizing it for the time being, like to be, you know, like if you have a bunch of projects on the go, you're like, okay, I'm just gonna put that aside for now. And I feel like he's quite good at compartmentalizing. And he's like forgiving about his failures and stuff. And like if you think of failures as just like refinement or whatever, so he's just like, you know, philosophical about moving through life, let's say. He has a lot of pressures on him from fans, I feel, to like keep addressing this subject over and over, which is similar to like me being asked to make this video. And that energy really takes 20% of his energy away from like his projects, which is like, if you're a fan of his and you want his music to be awesome, and for him to be happy and deliver like a great performance, I would back off like bothering him about his relationship stuff, because you're getting less like bang for your buck there, by imposing. Like, what would be better is if everybody just made their own album, like, that, and then maybe he would like your album, and there would be like a equal footing like friendship there, instead of like you looking in on his life, you know what I mean? So there's that. He also has like very negative like business people around him who have like, how like artists through the ages have always been like barely making it like financially, and then like David Geffen owns like the biggest house in Beverly Hills, but like what album did he put out? Like, he's just making money off the backs of like artists and stuff. So I feel like he has like stuff like that where the people running his label or whatever, like people, executives have no shame, no problem with just taking and just sort of see him as like one of many pawns that exist and that will continue to exist, and they have this setup, sort of like this Dr. Evil kind of like. I mean, it's not funny, but it's like whatever. But like that's what like Dr. Evil like lived up high in the Hollywood Hills, or so it's like a very apt comparison. Okay. So in terms of him and Selena Gomez, like Selena Gomez feels like she's curious about Justin Bieber, but like Justin Bieber doesn't feel that curious about her, like in a way. Like I feel like when they met, because of their age difference and his, like, in a way, she took advantage of him in a way, like, and it was like more, she had more power than him, and that the dynamic was not like good, let's say, in regards of like power distribution and stuff like that. So, and that can never be like different, or it's just like not perfect. It's not, I don't think a relationship between them is really like ideal. You can get along with pretty much anyone. Like, you can make like a silk purse out of a sow's ear, like, out of any old, like, if you're an optimistic person and a giver and like, giving all your energy to it, like, you can kind of like jazz up something that's actually kind of shitty, whatever. And so I think he's just like letting things like just lie where they are and like let them be, and I feel like Selena really struggles with her public perception guiding her choices. So, like, if she's in a relationship right now, it doesn't feel like 100% sincere, because like she needed to control public perception. Sure, I'm sure like whoever she's dating is a nice guy. But I'm just reading the energy, and don't get mad at me. It's just like what I'm picking up. I feel like she has an incapacity to fully like be in love or something like that. Like, how people who have narcissistic tendencies like lack empathy. They can't really go deep, like people who don't have narcissistic tendencies, like to love unconditionally, because like narcissists, like they need, it's like there are always thirsty for more, right? So even if they have something good, it's like they when they turn the corner, it's like they're hungry again, and like the next person gives them the 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 next like feeding of like energy or like whatever, and it's like insatiable. So there's some sort of thing like that where she started her career pretty young, and like that whole Barney show. Like when I was raising my kids, I was like not wanting them to watch it because I was like, it's just something seemed off about it, and like to be actually like a kid on the show would be even more like off-putting, I would imagine. So, um, like I grew up watching The Friendly Giant. I was like a really cute show where this guy like just hung out and talked about art and music and stuff, and it was really relaxing, and it used to make me cry because I was like, oh my god, like such a gentle person. And I would say the opposite of that would be Barney, who's just like disruptive and loud and like control controlling the narrative. Um, yeah, anyway, so like you have to sort of keep all that stuff in perspective. It's like from Barney till now, like that's like a psychological load that's quite heavy and that she'll need time to recover from. I feel like for her, it would do her a world of good to live in Europe for a while and just sort of escape the madness of LA and New York and some of her toxic, not necessarily toxic friends, but friends who maybe are nice, but like are not healing, or they're just perpetuating like a similar thing like over and over again, and just to like have a new story or whatever. So if she were to live like in Europe for like 3 years or something, 3 to 5 years, like just to press reset on her life, like she might be able to heal some of that and like discover who she is like outside of this. It feels like filters of perception like on her, and so those would be thrown off and she could like heal or whatever. So I'm really not pushing a Justin and Selena reunion romantically or relationship wise. Like there's a reason why they broke up a bunch of times. I feel like Justin is more attracted to like physically active, like athletic type women. And if for some reason he doesn't stay with his wife, like he'll choose someone else who's like very physically fit and like can play sports and stuff and likes that and stuff. Mm, yeah, and he's just like, don't try to make Justin Bieber more complex than he is. Like his I feel like his direction in life is fairly like, I'm not gonna say limited, but focused, and he's like happy doing what he does. It's like I make music, I perform, I go home, I make music, I perform. Like it's like, and that's all she wrote. Like so, I feel like don't expect more from him than that. So I feel like Selena will break some more hearts just by being like not fully present. So if she's in a relationship right now, I don't see it lasting because she's not fully present. And maybe she could act in a movie or something that's being filmed in Europe that is like takes up a bunch of time. That would be good for her to like, because I found like just personally like I'm a bit of a cinephile. Like I wasn't really feeling her in the Woody Allen thing, and it would be the good if she like were with a really good director who could bring out like some deeper parts of herself that would then let her discover herself more, you know, kind of like therapeutic acting. I think it's good for anyone to act, even if they like don't think of themselves as an actor, because like once you act in something, you realize like I'm acting in life, and like how do I want to change my how I play in this life, like to be more authentically myself, and like really don't listen to people who discourage you from doing that, because like it's part of life. Like if you can't see yourself as an actor in life, and like that you can play with that, you know, it's like it's pretty self-evident that that's how things are. So, and even though she's like bubbly and sings well and she's adorable and everything like that, like I feel like she's at this point she's not like a good person right now, if that makes any sense, because she's not able to fully be present, like because of some stuff she needs to go through or discover about herself, and get some distance on her environment and all that stuff like that. So don't be like polarizing. Like don't be like comparing Justin Bieber's partners and whatever. It's not like A versus C. A, why am I even saying that? Like A versus B or whatever. I'm not sure why I said C, but I don't know. Maybe there's 3 people in his life, and there's one that we don't know that is like also a good friend of his that is a contender or whatever. But it's not about polarity. It's like people's individual progression, their free will, their, you know what I mean? And people, our partners kind of accompany us through life, and sometimes take a hard left or whatever. Like it's whatever. It's still about you progressing as a soul, and like finding your authentic self, like breaking some of these narratives that are just given to us that like are sometimes painful, sometimes helpful, whatever, but like they're just we're meant to find our way in an inspired manner. So just like stop it with the Selena versus whatever. Like it's possible that neither one of them will be in his life if they can't cope with change and like evolution and whatever. So like you're gonna feel kind of stupid for trying to impose these people on his life when it was like could seem dated, you know, a couple years from now or whatever. But like I think it's possible if Haley goes to a good therapist or whatever herself, not with him, to just like unpack like why did I marry him, who am I, what do I want out of life, and does Justin complement that, you know, instead of like I have to hold this marriage together no matter what. Like I don't know, really. Like I think everybody's peace of mind should take precedence. Anyway, so that's my reading on Justin and Selena. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you have a recommendation that isn't about these same people, yeah, feel free to contact me. Thank you. Have a good day.